Mom sat across from me at the coffee shop, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea. "I want to help you with your business, Jason," she said, eyes bright with excitement. "Dad left me some money when he passed, and I've been thinking about what he would want. He'd want to see you succeed." My throat tightened. Dad had died 6 months earlier, and I was still processing the loss. "Mom, you don't have to." $50,000, she interrupted. "I'll transfer it next week. Use it to expand your furniture workshop. Your dad always loved watching you build things." I couldn't speak for a moment. That money would change everything. I could buy better equipment, hire an assistant, maybe even rent a proper storefront instead of working out of my garage. "Are you sure?" Finally managed. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "Absolutely sure. You're my son, and I believe in you." I drove home that day feeling lighter than I had in months. My sister Nicole had gotten her life together. Corporate job, fancy apartment, everything sorted. Now it was my turn. Finally, someone was investing in me. 5 days later, my phone rang while I was sanding a custom dining table. Mom's name flashed on the screen. "Hey, Mom," I answered, expecting her to ask about transfer details. "Jason, honey." Her voice sounded strange. "I need to talk to you about something." I set down my sandpaper. "What's wrong?" "It's about the money. The 50,000. My stomach dropped. "Yeah. I've been thinking and... Well, your sister called me yesterday. She's in a tough spot financially. Her company is going through layoffs, and she might lose her job. She's really scared, Jason." I waited, not liking where this was going. "She needs help more than you do right now," Mom continued quickly. "You're doing okay with your furniture business. You're getting by. But Nicole has rent to pay, car payments, credit cards. She's drowning." "Mom," I said slowly, "you promised me that money." "I know, sweetheart, and I'm sorry. But family helps family, right? Nicole's in crisis mode. You understand, don't you?" Closed my eyes. Of course it was Nicole. It was always Nicole. "When did she ask you for the money?" I asked quietly. "Yesterday." She was crying, Jason. "She's so stressed." "Yesterday. One day before the transfer. One day before my entire future was supposed to change. So you're giving her my $50,000. I tried to keep my voice level. "It's not your money yet, honey. It's my money, from your father's estate. And I'm choosing to help the child who needs it most right now." The child who needs it most. Like I was some afterthought. "Nicole makes twice what I make," I said. "She's been in that corporate job for 5 years. How is she suddenly broke?" "She has expenses, Jason. You wouldn't understand, you live simply. Nicole has a lifestyle to maintain." "A lifestyle to maintain." I looked around my cramped garage workshop, at the second-hand tools I'd bought one at a time, at the space heater I ran because I couldn't afford to heat the whole garage. "Right," I said. "I live simply. Don't be like that. I'm not saying you don't work hard. But this is temporary. Once Nicole gets back on her feet, I can help you too. Maybe next year." "Next year. Always next year." "Okay, Mom. You're not upset, are you?" Upset. I was devastated. But I'd learned long ago that showing hurt around Nicole only made things worse. "I'm fine. I hope Nicole's situation works out. Thank you for understanding, sweetheart. You're such a good brother." I hung up and sat in my garage for an hour, staring at the half-finished table. Then I got back to work. What else could I do? 3 days later, I was driving to the hardware store when I saw it. A sleek black BMW, brand new, sitting in the parking lot of an expensive brunch spot downtown. And leaning against it, laughing with her friends, was Nicole, my sister. The one who desperately needed Mom's $50,000 because she was drowning in debt. Pulled into the lot and parked. My hands gripped the steering wheel as I watched her. She looked happy, carefree, taking selfies with her new car. Her friends were admiring it, touching the hood, squealing with excitement. I got out and walked over. "Nicole." She turned, and her smile faltered just slightly. "Jason." What are you doing here? Nice car, I said evenly. When did you get it? Oh, this. She ran her hand along the hood. Just picked it up yesterday. Isn't it gorgeous? I've been saving forever for this. Saving? Forever? I thought you were broke, I said quietly. Her friends suddenly found their phones very interesting. Nicole's smile tightened. What? Mom said you needed money because you were drowning in debt, facing layoffs, crisis mode. Her face flushed. I don't know what you're talking about. The $50,000, Nicole. The money Mom was supposed to give me for my business. She gave it to you instead because you were in such desperate financial trouble. Silence. Her friends exchanged glances. Nicole straightened. That's between me and Mom. You bought a BMW, I said, my voice rising slightly. With my money. It's not your money, Jason. Mom chose to help me. That's her decision. By lying to me. By telling me you were about to lose everything. Nicole crossed her arms. I didn't lie. I told Mom I needed help and she helped me. If you have a problem with that, take it up with her. Did you tell her you were buying a car? She hesitated. I told her I had debt to deal with. A car loan is debt. That's not. I stopped myself. This was pointless. Nicole always twisted things. You know what? Forget it. Don't be dramatic, Jason. It's just money. Just money. The money that would have changed my entire business. The money Dad left specifically for Mom to help us with. Does Mom know? Yes. Know what? That you spent her gift on a luxury car instead of whatever sob story you sold her. Nicole's eyes flashed. You're just jealous because Mom chose to help me instead of your little hobby business. Hobby business. I'd been building custom furniture for 3 years, slowly building a reputation, working 16-hour days. Right, I said quietly. My hobby. I walked back to my truck and drove away. I didn't go to the hardware store. I went home and sat in my garage staring at nothing. I didn't call Mom. I didn't text. Just stop. When she called that weekend asking if I wanted to come for Sunday dinner, I said I was busy with work. You're always busy lately, she said, a hint of hurt in her voice. Yeah, well, business is picking up. It wasn't entirely a lie. I had 3 orders pending. But I was working with the same old equipment, the same cramped space, the same limitations. Nicole will be there, Mom added. She wants to show us something exciting. Bet she does. Can't make it, Mom. Sorry. Jason, is something wrong? Everything was wrong. But I couldn't explain it without sounding petty. Without sounding like the jealous little brother who couldn't handle Mom's choices. I'm fine. Just swamped. After that, I made excuses every time she called. Work was busy. I had a cold. My truck was acting up. Couldn't make it. Sorry. By the 3rd week, the calls became less frequent. By the 2nd month, they mostly stopped. Nicole never called. Not once. Not to explain, not to apologize, not even to gloat. She just went on with her life, driving her BMW, posting pictures from expensive restaurants, living the life Mom's money had helped fund. And I kept building furniture in my garage alone. For months after Mom gave Nicole my money, I landed my biggest client yet. A restaurant owner wanted custom tables and chairs for his new location. 12 tables, 48 chairs. It was a $35,000 contract, the biggest job I'd ever gotten. I should have been thrilled. Instead, I felt exhausted. Because I knew I'd have to rent equipment I couldn't afford to buy. I'd have to work insane hours because I couldn't hire help. I'd have to do everything the hard way because I didn't have the capital to do it right. That $50,000 haunted me. With that money, I could have bought a commercial-grade table saw, a proper finishing booth, maybe even hired someone part-time. Instead, I was scrambling, renting tools by the day, sleeping 4 hours a night, pushing my body to its limits. One night, around 2 a.m., I was in the garage finishing the last chair when my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Missing you, honey. Please come to Sunday dinner this week. Nicole has big news to share. Big news. Probably another promotion, another achievement, another reason for Mom to beam with pride while I stayed invisible. I stared at that text for 5 minutes. Then I typed back, "Can't make it. Working." Her response came immediately. "You're always working. We barely see you anymore." I didn't reply. What could I say? That I was always working because I had to do everything the hard way. That I was exhausted and resentful and hurt. That would just make me the bad guy. 6 months passed. Then 8. Then a year. I stopped going to family dinners entirely. I stopped calling. I answered Mom's texts with 1 or 2 words. Busy. Fine. Later. My business grew despite everything. Word of mouth brought more clients. I worked harder than ever, pushing through the limitations, finding creative solutions, making it work through sheer stubborn determination. I moved out of my garage and into a small commercial space. Nothing fancy. Just a bare-bones workshop with better ventilation and room to actually move around. I bought a used table saw from a guy who was retiring. I hired a part-time assistant, a kid from the community college who wanted to learn woodworking. It was slow, painful progress. Every step forward felt like climbing a mountain. But I was doing it. My own. Without Mom's help. Without Nicole's interference. Just me. Mom's calls became less frequent. When she did call, I could hear the hurt in her voice, the confusion. "Did I do something wrong?" she asked once. I wanted to scream, "Yes. You chose Nicole over me. You broke your promise. You made me feel worthless." But I just said, "No, Mom. I'm just busy. Too busy for your own mother. I'm building a business. It takes time." She sighed. "Nicole says you're being childish." Course she did. Nicole can think whatever she wants. "Jason. I have to go, Mom. Client meeting." It was easier to stay away. Easier than confronting the hurt. Easier than explaining why I felt betrayed. Easier than watching Nicole live her perfect life while I struggled. I'd unfollowed Nicole on social media months ago, but sometimes her posts still showed up through mutual friends. Each one felt like a small knife. Nicole at a ski resort in Colorado. Nicole at a Michelin star restaurant. Nicole showing off her promoted title at work. Senior Marketing Director. And then, the one that made me close the app and not open it for a week. Nicole posing in front of a downtown condo building, keys in hand, huge smile on her face. The caption read, "New chapter. Finally a homeowner in the city. Dreams do come true when you work hard and have family who believe in you. Hashtag blessed, hashtag new home, hashtag dreams do come true, family who believe in you." I sat there staring at my phone screen, jaw clenched. The down payment. Course. That's where at least some of Mom's money had gone. Not debt. Not bills. Not crisis expenses. A down payment on a luxury condo. While I was renting a basic workshop and living in a 1-bedroom apartment with appliances from the 1990s. I wanted to comment. I wanted to say something. But what good would it do? Nicole had won. She always won. I threw my phone across the room. It hit the couch and bounced onto the floor. My assistant, Marcus, looked up from the chair he was staining. "You okay, boss?" "Fine," I muttered. "Just fine." Year 2 of silence arrived quietly. I didn't acknowledge Mom's birthday with more than a text. "Happy birthday." She replied with, "Thank you, sweetheart. Would love to see you soon." I didn't respond. Christmas came and went. I sent a card and a gift. A cutting board I'd made from walnut, simple but beautiful. Mom called to thank me, crying a little. "It's gorgeous, Jason. You're so talented." "Thanks, Mom. Will you come for New Year's dinner? Please. I miss you so much." Almost said yes. Almost. But then I thought about sitting at that table, making small talk with Nicole, pretending everything was fine. Watching Mom fawn over Nicole's accomplishments while barely asking about mine. "Can't," I said. "I have plans." I didn't have plans. I spent New Year's Eve alone in my apartment, eating takeout and watching TV. But it was better than the alternative. My business continued to grow. I landed a contract with a hotel chain for lobby furniture. I hired a second assistant. I moved into a bigger workshop space. Every achievement felt hollow because I had no one to share it with. No family to celebrate with. No one to say, "I'm proud of you." But I kept going. Because what else was there to do? Then, 2 years and 3 months after Mom gave Nicole my money, my phone rang at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Mom's name on the screen. I almost didn't answer. "Jason." Mom's voice was wrecked, thick with tears. I sat up straight in bed. "Mom, what's wrong? Are you okay?" "It's Nicole." My heart jumped. "Is she hurt? Was there an accident?" "No, nothing like that." "But Jason, She broke into sobs, real heavy crying that made her words almost impossible to understand. "I made a terrible mistake. Such a terrible mistake." I climbed out of bed, phone pressed to my ear, adrenaline surging. "Mom, slow down. What happened?" "Nicole's been lying to me. About everything. For years. And I just found out, and I don't know what to do, and I need to talk to you." "Years? What do you mean lying? Can you come over? Please. I know I don't deserve it, I know you're angry with me, but please. I need my son right now." I glanced at the clock. 11:07 p.m. I had an early meeting tomorrow with a potential client. But the raw pain in Mom's voice cut through everything. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. I threw on clothes and drove across town, my mind racing. What could Nicole have done? What kind of lies would make Mom this distraught? When I pulled up to Mom's house, the same house I'd grown up in, the lights were all on. I let myself in with my old key. "Mom!" She was in the living room, surrounded by papers and tissues, her face red and swollen. When she saw me, she stood up and rushed over, hugging me so tight I could barely breathe. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed into my shoulder. "I'm so sorry." I guided Mom to the couch and sat beside her. Papers were scattered everywhere. Bank statements, printed emails, what looked like legal documents. "Okay," I said gently. "Tell me what happened." She wiped her eyes with a crumpled tissue. "Nicole came to me today. She needed money again. A lot of money. Again." "How much?" $60,000. She said it was urgent, that she'd made some bad investments and needed to cover losses before her company found out. She was crying, panicking, saying she'd lose her job if I didn't help. I felt my jaw tighten. "And I don't have $60,000 to give her, Jason. The money from your father, it's mostly gone. I've been helping Nicole for 2 years. Constantly. Every few months she needs more. Mom, I have an emergency. Mom, I made a mistake. Mom, just this one last time." She picked up one of the bank statements. So I told her no. Finally said no. And she got angry. Really angry. Started yelling at me, saying I was a terrible mother, that I'd helped you but wouldn't help her. "Helped me?" The words came out sharp. "Mom, you never helped me. You gave my money to Nicole." Mom's face crumbled. I know that now. And when she said that, I snapped. I told her that was different, that you'd never asked me for money after that you'd disappeared from my life and I didn't even know why. What did she say? Mom took a shaky breath. She laughed. Jason, she laughed. And then she said, "That's because Jason's too proud to admit he's still mad about the car money." My stomach dropped. "The car money," I repeated. I didn't understand what she meant, so I asked her. And she just... Mom's voice broke again. She just said it so casually, like it was no big deal. "The $50,000 you gave me that was supposed to go to Jason. Obviously he's still butthurt about it." She admitted it. I asked her why she needed the money if it wasn't for debt and layoffs like she'd told me. And she said she'd never been in danger of layoffs. That she'd been doing fine. That she just wanted the money to buy a nicer car than she could afford on her own. Mom stood up and started pacing. I confronted her. I asked her about all the other times she'd come to me with emergencies. The time she needed $15,000 for medical bills that turned out to be a vacation to Europe. The $20,000 for car repairs that was actually her condo down payment. The 10,000 for debt consolidation. That went to furniture and clothes. Each revelation hit me like a physical blow. All of it. She'd lied about all of it. What did Nicole say? She said I was being dramatic. That it's my money and I can give it to whoever I want however I want. That I chose to give it to her, so it's not her fault. Mom's hands were shaking. I asked her if she felt any guilt at all about taking the money that was meant for you. Do you know what she said? Waited. Jason's doing fine. He doesn't need help. I needed it more. Mom sank back onto the couch. I asked to see her financial statements. She refused. I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I called her company. My eyebrows rose. You called her work. I was so angry, Jason. I called and asked to verify employment for my daughter. Said I was helping her with a loan application. They transferred me to HR. She looked at me with devastated eyes. She was never facing layoffs. She got promoted 8 months ago. She makes almost $200,000 a year now. $200,000. While I was grinding 16-hour days to break $60,000. And the investment she claimed went bad. I asked quietly. Mom laughed, but it was bitter. I had her check her portfolio online while I watched. She's up 30%. She has almost $500,000 in investments, Jason. She's rich. Actually rich. And she's been taking money from me. Money your father left me to live on in retirement, by lying about emergencies. The room felt too hot suddenly. I loosened my collar. When I confronted her with all of this, Mom continued, she just shrugged. Said I gave her the money freely, that she never forced me. That if I was stupid enough to believe her, that was my problem, not hers. She said you were stupid. She said a lot of things. Then she told me that if I ever wanted to see her again, I'd better get over this little tantrum, and wire her the $60,000 by Friday. Mom's voice dropped to a whisper. Then she left. Just walked out. I sat there processing everything. 2 years. Nicole had been bleeding Mom dry for 2 years with lies and manipulation. And it all started with my $50,000. Jason. Mom turned to face me, tears streaming down her face. I am so sorry. I took your money, the money I promised you that your father wanted you to have, and I gave it to her based on lies. And then I let you disappear from my life because I was too proud to admit I might have made a mistake. Mom. No, please let me finish. She grabbed my hands. You stopped coming around and I told myself you were just busy. That you were being dramatic. Nicole kept saying you were holding a grudge over nothing. And I believed her because it was easier than facing the truth. She squeezed my hands tighter. But you weren't holding a grudge. You were hurt. Hurt you. I chose Nicole over you and I didn't even realize it. I've been choosing Nicole over you for years, haven't I? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. You're the one who's actually built something, Mom said. You're the one who took Dad's love of building and turned it into a real business. You're the one who never asked me for money after that, never came back begging for more, never lied or manipulated. And I treated you like an afterthought. Mom, my voice cracked. I just wanted you to believe in me. Just once. I know. And I failed you. I am so sorry. We sat there for a long moment, both of us crying. Finally I said, I have something to tell you. What? My business. It's doing well. Really well. I just signed a contract for $200,000 worth of furniture for a boutique hotel chain. I hired 4 employees. I'm moving into an even bigger workshop space next month. Mom stared at me. Jason, that's incredible. I did it all without the money, Mom. I did it the hard way. And yeah, it would have been easier with your help. But I made it work anyway. Why didn't you tell me? Mas, why didn't you share any of this with me? I looked at the ceiling, trying to find the right words. Because every time I thought about calling you, I'd remember that day. When you chose Nicole. When you decided she needed the money more than I did. Even though I was the one actually struggling. I was so blind. And then I'd see Nicole's posts on social media. living her best life with your money. And I just couldn't. I couldn't sit at your table and pretend everything was fine while she got everything and I got nothing. You got nothing because I gave you nothing, Mom said. Not because you didn't deserve it. Do you know what the worst part was? I looked at her. It wasn't even the money. It was the message. That my dreams weren't worth investing in. That my work wasn't real. That Nicole's wants were more important than my needs. Mom covered her face with her hands. I've been such a terrible mother. No, I said, surprising myself. You made a mistake. Big one. But you were trying to help your daughter. You got manipulated. Nicole's good at that. That doesn't excuse it. No, it doesn't. But Mom, I'm not telling you this to make you feel worse. I'm telling you because I need you to understand why I left. Why I couldn't just get over it. She nodded. I understand now. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know either, I admitted. But maybe we start with honesty. No more secrets. No more pretending things are fine when they're not. Deal, she said. Then, hesitantly. Can I see your workshop sometime? Can you show me what you've been building? Something loosened in my chest. Yeah, Mom. I'd like that. Over the next few days, the full extent of Nicole's lies emerged. Mom went through her bank statements with a financial advisor. Total money given to Nicole over 2 years. $142,000. Money actually used for emergencies. Probably zero. Mom's retirement savings, the cushion Dad had left her to live comfortably, was nearly gone. She'd have to go back to work part-time just to make ends meet. I'm so angry, Mom said when she called to update me. Not just at Nicole but at myself. How did I not see this? She's your daughter. You wanted to believe her. She's both my daughter. Both my children. But I only believed one of you. There was a pause. Have you talked to Nicole? Yes. She called yesterday. Asked if I'd calmed down and was ready to apologize. Apologize? To her. That's what I said. She hung up on me. I tried calling back, but she blocked my number. I wasn't surprised. Classic Nicole, when she couldn't manipulate someone anymore, she cut them off. I'm thinking about talking to a lawyer, Mom said. About what? Getting some of the money back. If she lied to obtain it, that might be fraud. I don't want to sue my own daughter, but Jason, I can't afford to lose that much money. I'm 62 years old. I can't rebuild that kind of savings. Do what you need to do, Mom. Would you hate me if I took legal action against your sister? Thought about that. No. Understand. She stole from you, essentially. There should be consequences. The following Saturday, Mom came to see my workshop. I'd cleaned up, organized things to look presentable, and arranged for Marcus and my other employees to be there to meet her. She walked in and just stopped, looking around with wide eyes. Jason, this is incredible. She moved through the space, running her hands over the furniture pieces in progress. A mahogany dining table, a set of cherrywood chairs, a custom bookshelf with intricate carved details. You made all of this. With help from the team, yeah. I introduced her to Marcus, to Amy who handled finishing, to David who managed client relations. She shook their hands, asked them questions, and I could see genuine pride in her eyes. Your father would be so proud, she said, her voice thick with emotion. He used to talk about how you'd spend hours in the garage with him, learning to use tools. He always said you had the gift. Something in me cracked open. I'd needed to hear that for so long. I wish he could see this, I said. I think he does. Mom pulled out her phone. Can I take pictures? I want to remember this. I want to show everyone. Sure, Mom. She spent 2 hours there, asking questions about the business, about my process, about future plans. For the first time in years I felt seen. Actually seen. Not as the struggling little brother, not as the afterthought, but as someone who'd built something real and valuable. When she finally left, she hugged me tight. I'm so sorry I wasn't here for all of this. For any of this. But I'm here now if you'll let me be. I'd like that, I said. 2 weeks later, Nicole finally made contact. Not with Mom, with me. A text message at 8 p.m. I heard you've been poisoning Mom against me. Real mature, Jason. I stared at the text for a full minute. Then I called her. She answered on the first ring. What? Not even a question, just flat hostility. I didn't poison Mom against you, I said calmly. You did that yourself. Oh please. You've always been jealous of me. Finally found a way to turn Mom against me, didn't you? Nicole, Mom found out you lied to her. About everything. That's not my fault. I didn't lie about anything. You told her you were facing layoffs when you'd just gotten promoted. You said you needed money for debts when you bought a luxury car. You claimed medical bills and used the money for vacations. That's not lying. Silence on the other end. Then, Mom gave me that money freely. I never forced her. You manipulated her. There's a difference. Whatever. You're just mad because she chose to help me instead of your little woodworking hobby. There it was again. Ubi. My business makes over $400,000 a year now, Nicole. It employs 4 people. It's not a hobby. I heard her sharp intake of breath. She hadn't known that. You're lying. I'm not. But even if I was still struggling, that wouldn't make what you did okay. You stole from Mom. From your own mother. I didn't steal anything. Then pay it back. Prove me wrong. Show Mom that you actually care about her well-being and not just her bank account. I don't have to prove anything to you. No, you don't. But you might want to prove something to Mom. Before you lose her completely. Nicole didn't pay anything back. Instead, she hired a lawyer and sent Mom a cease and desist letter. The letter claimed that any money given was a gift, that there was no legal obligation to return it, and that if Mom continued to harass and defame Nicole, she would face a lawsuit for emotional distress. Mom called me in tears. She's threatening to sue me. Jason, what do I do? Call a lawyer. Real one. Let them handle this. Mom did. The lawyer reviewed everything and was blunt. You gave her the money willingly, even if it was based on false pretenses. Unless you have written proof that it was a loan or that she explicitly promised to use it for specific purposes, it's legally considered a gift. So I can't get it back. Mask. Probably not. But I'd recommend cutting off all financial support immediately and documenting everything going forward. If she asks for money again, you'll have a pattern of fraudulent behavior. Mom left that meeting defeated. She'd lost her savings and her daughter, all at once. That evening she came to my apartment. I made us tea and we sat on my couch in silence for a while. I keep thinking about your father, she finally said. What would he think of all this? He'd be disappointed in Nicole, I said honestly. But he'd be proud of you for finally seeing the truth. I should have seen it sooner. Maybe. But you see it now. That's what matters. She looked at me with exhausted eyes. I'm sorry I can't give you that money back. The money you should have had 2 years ago. I don't have it anymore. I know, Mom. You could have done so much with it. You could have. Mom, I interrupted gently. I survived without it. I built something anyway. Would it have been easier with your help? Absolutely. But I made it work. And honestly, doing it the hard way made me stronger. You shouldn't have had to be strong. You should have had support. I have it now. That's enough. Life settled into a new normal over the following months. Mom and I had lunch every other week. She came to the workshop often, sometimes just to sit and watch me work. She told stories about Dad, about his own woodworking projects, about how much he would have loved what I'd built. Nicole remained silent. No calls, no texts, no attempts at reconciliation. Mom tried reaching out a few times, but every message went unanswered. I think I've lost her, Mom said one afternoon. Maybe, I said. Or maybe she just needs time to grow up. She's 35 years old, Jason. If she hasn't grown up by now. Some people take longer than others. The truth was, I didn't know if Nicole would ever change. Some people are fundamentally selfish, wired to take without giving. But I also knew that Mom needed to grieve the daughter she thought she had, and I could give her space for that. My business continued to thrive. I landed a contract with a national furniture chain to design a signature line. It was the biggest opportunity I'd ever had, enough money to completely change everything. The day I signed the contract, I called Mom. "Remember that hotel chain contract I told you about?" "Of course." "Well, I just signed something even bigger. Mom, I'm designing a full furniture line for a major retailer. It's going to be in 200 stores across the country." He screamed. Actually screamed with joy. "Jason, that's incredible. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you." Hearing those words finally made everything worth it. 3 weeks later, something appeared in the mail. An envelope from Nicole, addressed to Mom. Mom called me immediately. "Should I open it? Do you want to?" "I don't know. What if it's more legal threats? What if she's just trying to hurt me again? Then we'll deal with it. But you won't know until you open it." She was quiet for a moment. Then I heard paper tearing. "It's a check," she said, voice shaking. "What?" "A check. For $50,000. Made out to you." My heart stopped. "To me?" "There's a note. It says." He paused, reading. "Jason, this is the money Mom gave me 2 years ago that was supposed to be yours. I was wrong to take it. I was selfish and manipulative, and I hurt both of you. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed to make this right. Sorry." "Nicole." I didn't know what to say. Mom continued. "Should I bring it to you? Should we? Do you think this is real?" "I don't know, Mom. But if it is, then maybe she's finally facing what she did. What should we do?" Thought about it. About the struggle, the resentment, the years of hurt. About building my business the hard way, about proving I could do it alone. "Deposit it," I said finally. "If it clears, then we'll know she meant it." A week after the check cleared, Nicole called. Not Mom, me. "Did you get it?" she asked quietly. No hello, no preamble. "I got it." "Good." Silence stretched between us. Finally I asked, "Why now?" "I had a lot of time to think," she said. "After Mom found out everything. After I realized I'd lost her. After I sat alone in my expensive condo with all my expensive things and realized I had no one." "Nicole, let me finish. Please." Her voice cracked slightly. "I spent 2 months being angry. Telling myself I'd done nothing wrong. That Mom gave me that money freely. That you were overreacting. That everyone was being dramatic." She took a breath. "Then one night I couldn't sleep. I started really thinking about what I'd done. Not just with the money but with everything. The lies, the manipulation, the way I treated you and Mom. And I realized I'd become someone Dad would be ashamed of." Hearing her mention Dad made my throat tight. "I looked up your business online," she continued. "Saw the articles about your furniture line. Saw the photos of your workshop. Jason, you built something incredible. And you did it without any help. Without the money that should have been yours. While I was spending it on things I didn't need. Yeah. I called a therapist. Started actually dealing with my issues instead of just taking from everyone around me. And one of the first things she helped me see was that I owed you that money. Not as a favor, but as basic decency. It's been 2 years, Nicole. I know. And I can't give you back those 2 years. I can't undo the damage or the hurt. But I could at least return what I took. So I did. I sat with that for a moment. What about the rest? The money you took from Mom. I'm paying her back too. In installments. I can't do it all at once without destroying my savings, but I'm giving her $2,000 a month until the full amount is repaid. It'll take 5 years, but I'll do it." That surprised me. "You're serious about this?" "I'm serious about trying to be a better person. I don't know if Mom will ever forgive me. I don't know if you will. But I have to try." "I don't forgive you yet," I said honestly. "Not fully. What you did really hurt me, Nicole. For a long time. I know. But I appreciate this. The money, yes, but more than that, the acknowledgement. That matters. Thank you for not hanging up on me. We talked for a few more minutes. Carefully, awkwardly, like strangers learning to speak the same language. Before we hung up, she asked, "Do you think Mom will ever talk to me again?" "I think she wants to," I said. "But she's hurt. Give her time. And keep paying her back. Show her through actions, not just words." "I will. I promise." After we hung up, I sat in my workshop staring at my phone. $50,000 sat in my bank account. The money I'd been promised 2 years ago. The money that should have launched my business, that should have made everything easier. But I didn't need it anymore. I'd already built what I needed to build. So what would I do with it? The answer came quickly. Called Mom. "Hey, I want to do something with Nicole's money." "What do you mean?" "I want to invest it in something Dad would have loved. A woodworking scholarship program for kids who can't afford classes or tools. We'll call it the Dad Memorial Fund." Mom was crying. "Jason, that's beautiful. Will you help me run it?" "I'd be honored." Today, I'm standing in my expanded workshop, 3 times the size of that first garage, filled with state-of-the-art equipment and a team of 12 employees. The furniture line I designed is in stores nationwide. I just signed a book deal to write about custom furniture design. And every weekend, I teach free woodworking classes to teenagers through the Dad Memorial Fund. Mom is there most Saturdays, helping the kids, telling stories about Dad, beaming with pride as they create their first projects. She paid off her debt, rebuilt some savings, and found joy in giving back. Nicole hasn't come to any classes, but she sends her monthly check to Mom without fail. They talk occasionally, short, careful conversations that are slowly rebuilding trust. I don't know if our family will ever be what it was, or maybe what we wanted it to be. But it's something. Last week, one of the scholarship kids, a quiet 16-year-old named Marcus, finished his first table. It wasn't perfect. The joints were a little rough, the finish slightly uneven. But he stood there looking at it like he'd built a palace. "I made this," he said, voice full of wonder. "With my own hands." I remembered that feeling. The first piece I ever completed, the sense of accomplishment, the knowledge that I could create something lasting and beautiful. "You did," I said. "And it's just the beginning." Mom squeezed my shoulder. "Your dad would be so proud of what you've built here. Not just the business, but this. Helping others the way you were helped." I thought about that day in the coffee shop, when Mom first promised me the money. The hope I'd felt, the devastation of losing it, the long climb to get here on my own. "You know what?" said. "I'm glad things happened the way they did. Really. If you'd given me that money 2 years ago, I would have been grateful. But I wouldn't have been strong. I wouldn't have learned what I'm capable of. And I definitely wouldn't have built something that could help kids like Marcus." I looked at my workshop, my team, the students learning and growing. This is better than anything I could have planned. The hard way turned out to be the right way. Mom hugged me. "You're a good man, Jason. Better than I deserved." "We all make mistakes, Mom. What matters is what we do after." Nicole sent me a text later that evening. "Saw the post about the scholarship program. Dad would love that. You're a better person than me." I replied, "I'm just a person trying to do the right thing. Same as you're trying now. That's all we can do." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally. "Thanks, little brother. For not giving up on me." I looked at that message for a long time. Then I typed back. "Family doesn't give up, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard." And maybe that's the real lesson in all of this. Not about money or success or proving people wrong. It's about choosing who you want to be when things don't go your way. It's about building something meaningful even when the odds are stacked against you. It's about forgiveness, not because people deserve it but because you deserve peace. The money Mom promised me changed hands, changed purpose, and ultimately changed lives, just not in the way any of us expected. And somehow, that made it worth even more than the original $50,000. Because the best inheritance isn't money. It's becoming someone your family and yourself can be proud of. That's worth more than any bank account could ever hold.